जय गजानन. गणेशाय नमस्तुभ्यं. हेरंबाय एकदंतिने स्वानंदवासिने तुभ्यं. ब्रह्मणस्पतये नमः. So we were observing the story of Kapila Muni, who prayed to Ganesha in order to get rid of that Ganasur. That Ganasur had come and taken away the Chintamani jewel, which was given to him, gifted to him by Indra, who had received it from Vishnu, um, uh, and to whom Ganesha had himself given in response to penance and austerities done by Vishnu. So this Chintamani jewel, Ganasura took away, and so he won. Gritsama, the Kapila Muni, felt very bad about it and felt that he had done some mistake by wearing it around his neck, and so he did penance to Ganesha, and Ganesha manifested before him. He came as a Chaturbhuja with four arms, equipped with weapons and with Siddhi and Buddhi, riding on on his Mushak Vahana. And he said that, don't worry, I will kill Ganasura and will get back the Chintamani jewel. So the Kapila Muni continued meditation with the Ekakshara mantra of Ganesha. And according to the promise of Ganesha himself, that he will be born as his son. So, after some days, some years, Kapila Muni performed a yajna. And in that yajna, uh, from the Yajna Kunda, Ganesha manifested. From the Yajna Kunda, he said he'll be born as a son. How he'll be born, nothing else he had mentioned. Now, when one day when he was performing this yajna, from the Yajna Kunda, Ganesha manifested his huge form, red clothes, red in color, majestic, riding on a lion with Siddhi and Buddhi, with a Sesh Naga tied around his waist, and with all kinds of ornaments adorning his ankles, he manifested before Kapila Muni. And his Gajanana said that, see, I have manifested as your son to kill Ganasura. I shall kill this Mahadaitya and I will get back the Chintamani jewel. Kapil Muni, he was surprised that Ganesha, at the way in which Ganesha manifested. He bowed down to him, did Sashtang Namaskar, and said, I am indeed very blessed. My family is blessed. My lineage is blessed. My penance is blessed. My whole life is blessed. And he fell at his feet. And he says, it is in, I have realized now after all this that it is my own mistake that something which is offered, which is as given as which belongs to the deity of worship, we cannot wear it on a hair on our body. We should keep it as a in the puja for worship. Anything else like sandalwood paste or flowers, it can be worn. Prasada which is given, which is offered to the deity, and then we can consume that prasad. But any other ornaments or any other thing which is belonging to the deity should be worshipped. So that I have realized, it is because of my ignorance as well as my arrogance that I wore the Chintamani jewel around my neck. And so now I have realized the mistake. So he says, now please forgive me. And you somehow or the other kill that Ganasura, get back the Chintamani jewel, and keep it with you. Huh? He said, you keep it with you. So that's what was the request. Vinapa said, come on, let's go to that where that Ganasura is staying. So he went along with his army to where that Ganasura's palace, and he stood a little bit at a distance, and then Siddhi manifested an army. They manifested an army and went and attacked went to the palace, up to the doorstep, you can say, of Ganasura. The other Daityas went and told Ganasura, see, this whole army has come. But before that, The day before going to Ganasura's palace, Ganesha appeared in the dream of Ganasura, and he was Gaja with the trunk of an elephant, seated on a lion, and he has an axe in his hand, and he chops his head off. This he got in the dream, and he got up with a fright, and he was wondering who's this person who came in the dream, and he was wondering whether it was really a dream or reality. And he woke up, and then he told all his daityas. Then daityas told, "See, this Ganesha, somebody has come with his whole army. He has a head of an elephant and body of a human being. He's riding on a lion." So they all went, and then a battle started between the two armies. Then Siddhi manifested her son. She manifested a person who was called Laksha, and he attacked the army. Ganesha stood by. He was waiting to attack only Ganasura. So the Siddhi sent her son Laksha to fight this army of the Daityas. And when this battle was going on, after that, after some time, when a number of when the both the sides, many people died, many people fell down injured, and all that. At that time, Ganesha, he proceeded to when seeing Ganasura coming forward, Ganesha proceeded forward, and he mounted his arrow. Ganasura first attacked. He mounted an arrow and pointing it at Ganesha. So at that time, Ganesha hurled his axe, and it chopped off the head of Ganasura, and he fell down dead. And the Chintamani jewel was retrieved, and it was retrieved. And at that time, Kapila Muni said, "You please keep this Chintamani jewel with you only. You don't. We are not deserving of that. We don't know how to handle it. Also, I will worship that Chintamani jewel in my heart, as with the image of that, vision of that in my heart, and I will worship. So better. So that is how Chintamani jewel was restored back to Ganesha. And here we must remember Laksha. Laksha is Siddhi's son. Laksha means attention. Laksha means goal, aim, where you put your attention. So that is how Laksha was the aim. First, Laksha was sent to attack the army, and then the Buddhi son is Labha. Siddhi and Buddhi are the two wives of Ganesha. Siddhi's son is Laksha and Buddhi's son is Labha. Buddhi with the intellect, when intelligence is applied, when you apply your intellect towards that goal, towards that Laksha, you get Labha or success in your endeavors. So that is how both this even the names denote a certain purpose of worship of. That is why where we say where your attention goes, energy flows where attention goes, and when energy flows there, definitely you'll get success, because it is given in a proper, it is applied in a proper direction. So in this manner, we totally conclude this with this discussion of success of Kapila Muni in killing Ganasur. This discussion between Gritsama Rishi and Prahlada on the various incarnations of Ekadanta concludes. So Eka means Maya, Danta is someone who has an authority over it. So that is how this Ekadanta, the aspect of all these asuras are all Mayavik asuras. So Ganesha is the authority over that, and with various weapons, whether it is with his tooth or whether it is with the axe or any other weapon, he kills them off. So in this particular incarnation, all the asuras have been killed except one, the Madasur was surrendered. But even when he surrendered, he merged with the Ganesha. So in this manner, we conclude the second Khand, 73 chapters or 74 chapters of um, the various leelas, we can say, or we can say the various events that took place in these incarnations. several incarnations were there in this one incarnation as Ekadanta. As Ekadanta, this particular aspect of Ekadanta, where Ekadanta as Ganesha is authority over Maya. So there are several incarnations for killing various asuras. So here we must, the sum and total, sum and substance of this whole khand is Ganesha. He manifests out of his body the Mahamaya. Mahamaya, or the primordial elements, principles, tattvas, tanmatras, mahabhut, panchamahabhutas, karmendriya, jnanendriyas, all of these get manifested from Mahamaya. But initially, Mahamaya splits herself into four. That is Shakti, Surya, Shakti, Surya, Vishnu and Shiva. That is Asat Brahma, Sat Brahma, Sama Brahma, and Neti Brahma. And the unmanifest aspect of all this is Ganesha. He is also addressed as Ganesha because that Ganesha aspect only was born as a son of Shiva and Parvati. So these are all administrative units of Ganesha. He doesn't individually perform. These are all functions allotted. Asat Brahma is a Shakti who has all qualities. The Sattva, Rajas, and Tamo Guna permutations and combinations are expressed into this whole Prakriti as various names and forms, various kinds of species. Surya Brahma or Sat Brahma is the Atma in all of this, which provides the soul in all of the you can say the aham principle, the ego principle, or the I-ness is a manifest form of the Surya in all species and all living things. Sama Brahma is Vishnu, who balances both of them, who maintains the balance and maintenance of this whole universe to keep it going. Then destruction is Neti Brahma or Shiva Brahma, Sahaja Brahma, that is Shiva. So all these four different functions are distributed among all of them. And Ganesha is present as the Chaitanya consciousness in all living and non-living things. And through them, he enjoys this world. So this whole world is the representation of that Supreme Paramatma, Paramatma, and how he can be attained through the path of yoga. Beginning with Ashtanga Yoga Sadhana, where you stabilize your body, where you regulate your breath, and where you fix your asana. That is, you must be able to meditate for prolonged periods of time, and then step by step you go into concentration, dhyan, dharana, samadhi. So then in samadhi, there are different stages of samadhi. Samadhi of each one of these four different administrative units. So you have to achieve the samadhi, the beingness of Shakti Brahma, beingness of Surya Brahma, beingness of Sama Brahma, and beingness of Shiva Brahma. Then you go beyond to achieve Swananda Brahma, Swa Swananda. And then only, then the union of all of this, Sanyoga and Ayoga, union of that is the supreme Brahmanaspati Ganesha, or which is called Shanti Yoga or Purna Shanti Yoga, where you attain total peace. Okay, so these are the stages where we follow in attaining the supreme divine. So it is not a one day's job. It is several lifetimes you have to do, because, and even in each lifetime we go up and down, we slip down many times. So it's a whole process. So it's not that we'll achieve moksha in one lifetime. No, far from it. So, and besides, even if you attain moksha if you are worshipping Vishnu and you attain moksha, you will go only Vaikunta. And in Vaikunta, when your balance of punya karmas is exhausted, Shena Punya Martya Loke. Again, you come back to earth. You are reborn on earth. It's only when you go to Swananda Loka, when you cross all of this and go to Swananda Loka, there is no rebirth. Then for the entire 4 crores, 32 lakh years, you don't have to be born. Then you'll be born when the creation happens again. So it's not easy to get mukti, moksha. Mukti may be possible, temporary liberation. That also, when a punya gets exhausted, you have to come back. Okay. So then this is the end of the incarnation of Ekadanta, and Ekadanta's place is in the southeast direction. Southeast direction, and wherever you see the Ganesha idol installed in the southeast direction of any temple, that is the form of Ekadanta. Okay, so the next is for killing, is the incarnation of Mahodara. So in this here, Mudgalacharya, he's telling all the story to Daksha Prajapati, and Daksha Prajapati says, "I'm so happy that you have recounted this entire incarnation of Ekadanta. Now I want to listen more of the other many incarnations. You said there are 8 incarnations, so tell me about the next incarnation." So that is about Mahodara. So he says, "Yes, I will let you, I shall now recount that story of Mahodara." And the same thing, Sukha is narrating to Shaunaka and other munis. Shuka is narrating this whole story as told by Mudgalacharya to Daksha Prajapati to all the munis in the Dandakaranya forest, where all munis and rishis are listening to him, to all the stories from Puranas endlessly. And so with this, in this case, where Mudgala narrates to Daksha Prajapati. In this way, we end Khand 2, part 2 of the 7 Khand of the Srimad Mudgal Puran. Any questions you have on this?
No.
No. Okay. So then we will take up your question of yesterday. How our ancestors are connected to us? Are they overlooking us? Are they overlooking over us? Do they interfere or help us in our day-to-day lives? How do we know whether they are happy with us or not? Hmm? Okay. So ancestors. And who are our ancestors? Ancestors means anyone, like immediately when we do Shraddha, we perform for 3 ancestors. Our father, father's father, father performs for his father. Then and his grandfather and great grandfather. So 3 generations he performs. So when he performs a Shraddha, he tells the names of this three generation. 3 names: great grandfather, grandfather, grandfather. So then, after your father passes away, you will tell for your father, your grandfather, your great grandfather. So, like that, you will be telling only for three generations. Similarly, on the mother's side also. Grandmother, great grandmother, mother, great grandmother, grandmother, great grandmother. So, if in mother's side, it will be the eldest son of the mother who will be doing that Shraddha performance. So they'll be telling the names of 3 generations. So in all how do we recognize? So now here, um, how do we know that ancestors are connected to us? Now, in this book, there is a book which I had written on Sahaja Yoga, an experiential treatise. Not many people know about this book. This is a book which I translated when I was in Nagpur, that is 2006 or 7, I think, 6 or 7, 2006 or 7. But it was published later on, it was published. The their spiral binding karke, a lot of it was distributed to across the world to many places. So many of the Sahaj Yogis have it, even in Australia, US, and everybody. But later on, I had got it published. I think in 2014 or something, it got published. 2017 it was published. No, 2014. 2014 it was published by Author House UK. And so in this book is actually a translation from Marathi, Anubhavache Bol. Anubhavache Bol, written by Fadke Kaka, V.N. Fadke. He was one of the earliest devotees of Shrimataji. And this was in the 1970s. end late 70s, when Shimataji was staying in Dadar in Shivaji, near, somewhere near Shivaji Park, where they used to meet, have sessions in the on the terrace. Somewhere at some few stops away from Bharatiya Vidya Bhavan. So in this, he gives his experiences. At that time, he used to make notes. He was actually a teacher in the Mukhbadir school, a deaf and dumb school stood. He was a teacher there. He had won the best teachers award also, and he used to take down notes, and he, with permission of Shri Mataji, he applied the Sahaja Yoga to those blind, deaf and blind children, deaf and dumb children. Means they could not hear, not what he was saying, they could not hear. They could not speak also. They are dumb also. And to those people he taught, and how when they were in meditation, they could visualize everything. They say we have the sixth sense, no? So through visually, they would be able to experience the everything what he was telling. So they used to hold the hands and sit together in a chain, in a circle. And so holding each other's hands, and then they used to he used to make them experience it, anubhav, and experientially he used to teach. He was, whatever he says also, they will not understand, hear, they can't hear. So there's no way of this. So it's only through his own through an experience he would be able to demonstrate, and then they would be able to tell. Like, I don't know how they would be able to tell, but they could. They must be having method of communication, maybe by through signs or something. They would have. They could. They would describe what they saw or what they felt. So that, so now here in this, so in that group of that in this initial group, which was a very informal kind of a group, Shri Mataji used to tell many things, means make them do many things. So she used to she had told once, you call out to the now his father had died. When V.N. Fadke's father had died, I think in the JJ hospital or something, JJ hospital or KM hospital, one of that. And he could know whether his father was on the cot or not. Means through, like when he was alive, he had tried to recognize with his hands the vibrations on his hand of his father's. His father's subtle energy system he could sense on his hands. So that is, he could switch over like that. Means his own. Now we know, generally we know our own vibrations, but when I'm working on somebody, I will have to switch over to that person's subtle energy system, and then know through my hands how his energy system is. So this comes out of a continuous practice. When you practice for a long time on working on somebody, on working on others, basically, this at that time you get to know you can sense the energy centers of others. So there is there are doctors who do treatments based on with this method. So he could know the subtle energy system of his father. So how it went on, how it deteriorated, also he knew, and he could also know when he was going to die. And when he died, like he was he I think he at the time of death, he was not present. He had sent his sister or somebody. He stood. He remained. He went home, and from there he checked whether when he was passing away. And then even after death, for some time, Shri Mataji had taught them how to know where they are, in which loka, like in the Pitraloka, whether they have reached the Pitraloka or they are within the earth's atmosphere, or in this loka only. in Mrityu only. So for that you had to you had to focus on them, and you should know, you should be able to sense their subtle energy system in your hand. For that you would have had an experience of how whose energies you're feeling. You should be that much sensitive to know whose energy of feeling, and then call out their names 3 times, and then raise your hand to the atmosphere, and then antariksha, 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 and then they would say call out the name of the person, and then wait for receiving the energies of the receiving the energies, and then you know that they are still on the way, or not reached the pitraloka. Shimataji, I told, don't practice all these things. You don't. It's better that you don't engage in all this. That is why this method was not approved by approved also. Like it was considered as andhashraddha. By and there was a lot of agitation also against the practice of these techniques. And Shri Mataji also has told, don't do it. But she had told them this is the way you find out, and then you can know whether they have reached the Pitraloka. Then, after some time, you will stop receiving those signals. After a certain period of time, like when we finish the 13 days and all, you'll stop receiving those signals. Then you'll know that they are safe wherever they are, in whichever loka they have gone. So we don't know which loka they go, which of those dimensions, So they could be anywhere. So, but they are beyond your reach. And second, another thing was, you also know we do the shraddha. When we do the shraddha on the 13th day, when the crow comes and eats, we do offer the pindadan. When we keep the balls of rice, and then the crow comes, we believe that when the crow comes and eats it, that means the soul has come and eaten that rice, and now he has gone. When the crow flies away, now he has left the our area. Like we have, after burning the body in the smashan, in the crematorium, we bring one bone or something and keep it, one bone and one stone, and we keep it in our house for until all the kriya karma is completed, following the 10 days, 10th day, 11th day, all those processes we do. um, then on the final day, when we offer the pindadan, at that time, when the crow comes, we believe that the crow, as in the form of the crow, that soul comes and eats the offerings, and then when the crow flies away, now he has left, and so we conclude that he has left for his onward journey. And then we continue with our normal duty. Then the next, after 1 year, or sometimes every month, we have on that particular tithi, you do the pindadan and everything. Now in this case, this Vadke Kaka did an experiment, and he found out that the soul does not come in the form of the crow. The soul does not enter the crow and eat. The crow does not eat I mean, as a they don't come as the crow and eat the offering, but the soul is there. The soul is on the pinda, eats from the pinda, and then after eating, when the soul has gone, then the crow comes and eats. That crow is one rishi who had got a shrap from by Shiva. He had this one rishi had wanted to know the secrets when Shiva was telling Parvati many things. Many secrets, knowledge he was they were conversing. At that time, he wanted to overhear them. So he went as a crow, and he sat on one tree in the Kailash, and he overheard what they were talking. So, but Shiva, when he came to know, he said, "Who is there? In whatever form you are there, you will be forever in that form." He had cursed like that. so that that rishi was not able to come out of that form. This you get mayavic knowledge, and also you convert in different forms and you go, but then the curse was there. Then so, but then after that the rishi begged, see, it was not my intention and all that, you know. Then that after much persuasion, Shiva consented. He said, okay, I will dilute that curse, the sense that on you will be blessed with the ability to see the dead souls. When they you will be able to see the dead soul, the atma, and then when the atma has finished eating from that pinda, after the pinda dan, when it proceeds, you go and you can eat that rice. So that so that was an indication you'll be able to see the pinda. So actually, when we offer that rice and call out to the crow to eat, it doesn't come immediately. It comes after some time. It waits for some time. So that means, so till that
It will
atma
come
is
and wait there
that
next
soul,
to that place.
after it has
Not
gone,
eat
then
it.
the crow comes and eats. So many times we have to leave it and go back. We leave it there and then go, and then waiting for after waiting for some time, because it doesn't happen immediately. So that is one another thing which Fian Furke had written in his book. So that is available. Those stories, these kind of experiments are available in this book, an experiential treatise, Anubhavache Bol. So this is what you how we can know whether they are connected with us, how do they come and contact us. But yes, they do come on the particular sthiti. Sometimes if they are very much attached, they come frequently also. They keep coming off and on. And if you are intuitive, if you develop a certain intuition, and particularly if you are sensitive to their smell, if you are sensitive to their smell, particularly supposing if someone is a very big smoker, or if he has a tendency to wear a particular perfume, or if they had an attraction to a particular the fragrance of a particular flower, then you can sense their presence immediately. You can know their presence because they normally express them their presence through smell. So through and sense of smell is a very difficult faculty to develop. Particularly, our hearing, sense of hearing, seeing, everything is very well developed. We can hear only what we can smell, only what we eat. That is why in Corona, the bat attacked our nose. That is that nose in corona time, that bat is one is a animal, or it's actually not a bird, we can say. It's not really a
It's a
it's a
mammal.
yeah, it's a mammal that it through it sends signals to where it can't see. It has no eyes. The
Blind.
bat has no eyes. It will send signals to the and when that from its body, and when it hits that object, then it will know that the prey is there, and it will go in that direction and then catch hold of the prey. So it is through that way. That is why the corona had all the symptoms of the how the bat catches hold of the prey. That is why it's at a distance. What was that? This 3 feet distance you keep, no? What they had told you, had to maintain current in the when you between two persons, keep a distance of 3 feet. They had told, no?
More than three.
More than three. Yeah, that is a distance of where it can throw its vibrations, or you can say it can through its
Infection.
waves, means you can say what it transmits, and those waves reaches that object, and then it comes back. It knows how to catch that. So that is why we had been told to keep that distance between two people. So and that is through, I don't know whether it's through its nose. It cannot smell, but then that sense of smell was affected for us, because there was inflammation of the in this our nasal passage. We had lost our sense of smell at that time. So that was the only way where you can recognize that we can communicate with the dead. So that faculty also was disrupted. So that was one particular, and yeah, and also it not only will can throw it on front, back also. I think so. Back also it can sense, and it can sense through that when it hits that object, when that it can sense the vibrations hitting the object of its prey. So in this way, so we can by communicate, how they communicate is generally through sense of smell. You can know that presence through sense of smell, and they do come. They and particularly during tithis, shraddha tithis, they come, and I have known people who tell that on that particular chair they will sit. If they are very much attached to you, they will. So they generally some people don't dispose that chair. They keep that chair or that particular corner, that particular object of attachment to which they are attached. So generally we should dispose of certain things, because so that they see, it's not normal for them, because they don't have a body to express themselves. So it is a pain for them. Means they will be able to sense our sorrow. They will be able to sense our feelings, but then they cannot communicate to us or tell us anything. So that it is a hindrance for their onward journey. And besides, if they have to take rebirth, then they have to leave this realm of our Nritya Loka. Then only they can enter the soul of another in appropriate circumstances. Otherwise, they'll be as wandering like that. They'll be just wandering like that. And and they can't do anything about it. They'll be more miserable. So do they interfere or help us in our day-to-day lives? Some of them who are very evolved souls, who have been able to go up to the Vaikuntha, and they can also come back. Means some at the Vaikuntha Loka, sometimes when they are evolved, when their consciousness has expanded so much, they can sense a certain harm is going to happen to you. Then they will come and communicate. They will either communicate directly, or they will communicate through some way or the other. They will communicate through some birds, or through some synchronicities like this.
Some signal will give.
Some signals, you will get the information through them. Or sometimes they may inform through our relatives. Our relative may come and tell you, or sometimes so, for that even we should be sensitive enough to these avenues. And whatever avenue we are sensitive enough, through that mode they will communicate. Suppose you are sensitive to like now crows. When we say now crows right in front of the balcony, they are coming and crowing. Then we say some visitor is going to come. And that day, definitely some different person who other than a normal persons who come, some different person will come. A different guest definitely comes. So that communication, it is indicated through the crow. Just like how when someone is going to die, the dogs howl. Hmm? So then you know that the Yama is around, somebody is going to die. We don't know who, but then that's a communication way, because they can see the figure of Yama. They don't know whom he's come to catch. Because nowadays
Dogs
we are
can
in the
see.
building. So if it was an independent house, it would have been easier. Anyway, so like this, we do know, we get indications. Then how do we know whether they are happy with us or not? Uh, no, they don't know whether they are always happy. Means they are not concerned about that, but they do when we are in danger or something they want to if they have some information to convey, then they will convey. Um, uh, or they will convey in various ways. Like I told you that about that book where the Shamak Davar. He had written that
Ah,
that lady's book where she would write it down. So that way they will convey the message. Her sons were conveying whatever, wherever they went, they would come back and convey to her because they were young, they were attached to their mother, the mother was attached to them. So they would, even if they went above, also they would frequently keep coming every 15 days. In fact, the dates are there whenever they came and they communicated to her. She has written the dates also. So I think I showed you that book.
yeah, you told me.
Yeah. So yeah, I found that book and I showed it to you. So so that way they do communicate. Then they don't interfere, but they definitely communicate whenever necessary if they feel it necessary. And another thing is um, uh, we may be as such. Mm, I don't know why. Yeah, it just happens that okay, I'll tell. Um, when this Israel war was going on, Gaza, even now it is going on, Israel and some of the reporters from India Today had gone there. First, Shivarur had gone. He came back. Then Gaurav Sawant went. Then Ashutosh went. Then, so they were covering a lot of in that area. Initially, it was a different thing. Then the war intensified, and then they were. I think they had. There was one more person who was covering Iraq, where they had bombed Iraq, and they had bombed the whole building down, and then there were those uh, orange color fumes, not fumes, cloud like dust coming up from the chemicals used for bombing that place. So when this was all going on, and there was a time, a particular day where Gaurav Sawant was reporting from there, and I suddenly felt that there's danger there for his life. So because when I was in this house, and the peacocks were crying from here, and they were just warning me about something. So I just it was at night, and I was I normally wake up at night because in the silence of the night I can get all these kind of information. So I was listening, and then I felt that I should call them back. So I sent a message. I wrote to Shivarur also that call back Gaurav Sawant and Ashutosh immediately. And I also had on I think in the I had mentioned it. Please call them back, and I left it. And good, they called them back. I don't know how it message reached to them. They called them back, and that night when I got up in the morning, I saw in the news that that last man was killed by the drone. That last man who was killed by the drone. um, he what was that they are called, the in that area only Gaurav Sawant was there. Just in that very house, I mean, just outside, under that, in that area, he was there, and that they had sent and that drone. That man happened to the founder of that. What are they called? That group who attacked Israel. I don't know. Okay, so that you can go and research into that. That way you do. Even if we are very sensitive, you can get indications like that, and then you can communicate that you're in danger. So even when we like, they may not be able to have access, but supposing if anybody who has access, we can convey to them. Then I'll say, then actually we are influenced by our ancestors. In order to be born, see, we have got to be born today. If you are born today, 12 previous generations will influence you. We have an influence of the our mind, intellect, so which is influenced by 12 previous generations, which consists of a total of 4094 ancestors in the over the last 400 years. So that is, in order to be born, you need two parents, four grandparents, 16 second great grandparents, 32 third great grandparents, 64 fourth grandparents, 128 fifth grandparents, 256 sixth grandparents, 512 seventh grandparents, 1024 eighth grandparents, and 2048 ninth grandparents. Hmm? So when we add up all this, it comes to 4094. So because some part of their genes will be in this full lineage, means we will get we are influenced by the genetics of to 4094 ancestors over the past 400 years if we are born today. So that is why, um, 12 generations 12 generations of influence is there when we are born today. To get out of one particular genetic system, after the 12th generation, you can get out of that. Means you can be out of this particular group of influence of genetics. Like supposing Indian genetics you have. For 12 generations, you will have this, which has an influence of 400 years. 400 years and 4094 ancestors. So supposing if you are born in US, how will you be influenced by any of the genetics of these people? So now we are traveling to foreign countries. So then we get some of our people who go from here get married from people from there. So then it's all this. We get their genes also. So even then, in a particular this is the way it gets influenced. So if TK, even if you are born in that place, then their parents in that generation, unke grandparents will be influenced. Two parents, four grandparents, then two great grandparents, like that. That person's great parents, oh, uska grandparents also will be included. So like that, if the ancestors influence our genes, we cannot escape. So we all are the descendants of some generations, uncountable. We only know the names of three people, three this that two who do Shraddha, who don't do, they don't know that also. So we come with a lot of baggage, We come with a lot. It's 400 years, a span of 400 years. How many years the British ruled us?
200.
200. Then Muslims?
No, 7 to 800.
No, 14 something to 1700. So 300, 400 years they
300.
also ruled us. So we carry all their baggage. All their struggles are there in our genes. How all those struggles, all those battles, influence
That's why
of
we
those
are so
battles,
strong.
it's there in the memory, in the collective memory. So we do get influenced. We can't just wipe out history from the history books and say that it doesn't exist. We carry it in our very genes, in our blood.
No, because they have struggled, we have become so strong.
They have struggled, and yes, so we have, they have, those who were able to overcome those struggles. They won the battles, and then they became strong. So that courage and the strength was passed on to us. At the same time, their traumas also is passed on. So we carry some of their traumas also, and particularly that is why We do cleansing of the Vastu. We don't know where we are now. In all these places, areas, battles have taken place. Delhi has been the center of all battles. It has seen the ups and downs over history. It has been the capital from Hastinapura. I mean, when Kauravas, from Kauravas' time, we have the history there. So, a lot of battles, a lot of chalaki, cunningness, all that is there. No, you carry, it's there in the very earth. That's why frequently when earth is unable to bear, she come throws it up in the form of earthquakes or volcanoes or floods, and it gets washed off. So that way, a certain balance is restored. Nothing is permanent; it keeps changing. But it takes years and years of struggle. Any questions? Anything you have
Suppose
to say?
if in a country there have been no struggles or there have been no invasions,
Mm.
then those people will be more happy.
They may be happy or they may extinct. They may be extinct because where there is no struggle, there is no growth.
Ah, correct, correct. You have to fight.
Yeah, only when there is a resistance, you try to overcome that resistance and then there is growth.
Exactly.
Otherwise, in very cold areas, nothing is there.
Yeah.
No vegetation, no animals, nothing. It becomes frozen. When we don't have emotions, we say you're frozen. Someone who has no emotion, frozen person means like he has no sensitivity. For
Correct.
sensitivity, you need to have this action reaction. This thing should go on,
Right. It should
and
be
growth
kept
happens.
alive.
We're not alive, really. It's metamorphosis, and you're in stagnation, stagnation mode. Stagnation, then it becomes, it gets solidified, then becomes rocks. Now, even when you go to the river Narmada, on the banks of river Narmada, there is a lot of rocks. And the people living in that area, they say these were all rishis. They have they never moved from there. They just froze there and became those rocks. So they don't even break those rocks. All of them are rishis all around, on either side of the Narmada. Lots of rishis are there because Narmada is one of those rivers which is brahmacharini, virgin river. So that is why Narmada parikrama we do. Narmada, the whole
Yeah,
river,
the whole
you do
parikrama.
parikrama of that river. That is a tapasya. It's a kind of a tapasya. So let's meditate for a few minutes.
Yes.
Bring all your attention to yourself. See that your feet are firmly planted on the floor. Feel the earth beneath your feet. Eyes gently closed. Bring all your attention to your breathing. Take a nice deep breath. Feel it all the way into your abdomen. We are living beings, spiritual beings in a human body. The body is an instrument which helps us navigate through the school of earth. We have certain conduct, rules of conduct to take care of this body, apply our mind, live our life's purpose, for which we are handed all the necessary tools and equipments, friends and family, necessary resources, and it is our duty to make optimum use. While we are here, the maximum good as much as we can possibly do. Let us not waste our time in idle gossip. Our actions have a profound impact on the world around us. Misdirected actions can have repercussions far reaching in effect and impact. Let us maintain healthy boundaries, respect the rights of each other, and protect. Know that the benevolence of the Creator is always with us. It's only that we need to be attuned by being ever present, alert, with full attention, and be connected to your own self. Because unless you know yourself, unless you know your own red flags, you cannot recognize that of others. That requires a sharpness developed through discipline, commitment, and extreme honesty. Let us pledge to ourselves to be honest to our own self. Slowly wriggle your fingers and toes. Rub your hands together. Cup your palms, place it on the eyes. Gently rub your face. And open your eyes.